Well, hello and welcome to Gmodism. We're back here in the Gmodism Empire. This is your host Eric, and today we are going to check out a very famous YouTuber's build, and we're gonna pitch it against the Gimle, namely the Funny Frogman. That is Martincitopants, if I pronounce that correctly. As you may have noticed, we have a camera update that has been released. I made a little tutorial for it. It's kind of almost outdated already, but they did fix some things that we brought up in that video, so that's really nice to see. Anyways, huge thanks to the supporters of this channel listed on screen. Now let's spawn in the really big ship, the Yamato. So here she is. This is the very large build by Martincitopants, which is the Yamato scale 2:1, I think it is. So it is attempting to basically be a rebuild of a World War II Japanese kind of almost super battleship, I think. It's one of the larger ones that were made. And yeah, it's pretty darn big and it's pretty darn cool. Now, if I don't misremember, I think this is an earlier kind of deco build that has been refurbished to be useful for campaign use. Now, I have it in my watch later list, but I haven't watched Martincitopants' full video of beating the Nether. I probably will do that. I'm just thinking, do I want to spoil anything that might happen in the campaign that I should have started for so long ago but just didn't, or do I want to watch the video? And right now I'm leaning towards watching the entire video. Anyways, this is a very cool and interesting looking build. It is very beautifully crafted, the superstructure, and most parts of it. It's a little bit sharp and janky around the edges, but when you look at the general shape of this thing, I think it's done a pretty good job at remaking it. Now, I'm not a historical ship nerd, so I can't really speak for how accurately it resembles the real sunken Yamato, but it's a scale from 2:1, so I'm just assuming it's very accurate. Because otherwise, why bother even calling it that? Right, so we're gonna check out this ship here and see what's happening, what we have for parts. And this Gimle battle, it's obviously an unofficial battle, because as you can see here, this one costs 5 million materials. And the Gimle class, she is only clocking in at 2.2 million. And this is like 5.1 million, so it's a lot more expensive. If it's really capable in combat, we will attempt to run one of this against 2 of the Gimles to have a more fair fight. Anyways, let us check this thing out. It's 500 meter long. That's insane. That's a large one. Yeah, and the firepower is, let's see here, we got a pretty APS and cram heavy system there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. I need to spawn in the Gimle later to just compare these stats. But if we check this out, we will of course need to spawn as Rambot inside of here. And if you missed the updates, the Rambot is kind of optional now, just so you know. It's really cool. Oh, I was going to say it's really cool that the ship is walkable, but yeah, so I guess it's cool that there is a bridge. Right, so if we get back to Rambot, I think it's yeah, it's pretty empty like this. So yeah. Anyways, you know what I think we should do? I think we should broadside. We should just launch some of our guns and just fire a little broadside. Yeah, very nice. So we can then enjoy the full range of the cannons here. If you can see them just poking up there. Looks pretty scary to me. Anyways, we should be checking out some of these weapons here and see how they are made. I didn't check out any of Frogman's builds beforehand, So I do not quite know exactly what it's in this thing. Now, I saw that Borderwise did take a look at his build, so I did have that in the background and listened to it, but I wasn't watching that, so this is the first time for me that I'm actually seeing this. Okay, so we're gonna do a cut below then. It's, yeah, okay. So here we can see this part of the ship is very thin. The deck, we have a big slab of alloy, it seems, maybe for float, not quite sure. I don't know as of the experience level of Martincitopants of building ships in From the Depth. He has played the game on and off for quite some time, so I don't know how many hours he has, but I will say it's a little bit... there are some beginner mistakes here and there, so that is, you know, to be expected. From the Depth is a really hard game, and yeah, he plays a lot of different games and streams them and stuff like that. So I mostly do From the Depth, so yeah. And a lot of people playing From the Depth do that as well. Interesting, we have an air spall catcher on the underside in case of torpedoes coming from below. I have yet to see that being used in combat in an effective way, but you know, better safe than sorry. But it's a very thick bottom. Much material is going wasted there. Now we have some pretty vulnerable turret necks. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I do not like to use turret necks as a concept, but it's decent, you know. We have some connections that can be easily broken off, but at least we have a multi-barrel system, so it will be a little bit resilient. And we also have this big empty space here. So yeah, the entire thing won't get destroyed. Now, I would definitely have some more armor in front of the turret. We don't need as much in the back, and it looks like Martin thought that way too. But I would actually have a sheet of heavy armor in the front. That's where to use heavy armor. Using heavy armor to protect ammunition is rarely a good idea. It's better to just spread them out to a part that doesn't matter very much. Like fill this area with ammo and it's no problems. Anyways. Oh yeah. A little funny thing we're probably gonna do, we're probably gonna set up some like web page with some questionnaires and education in citation marks, you know, just to provide some, you know, funny From the Depth diplomas, because I got that idea when I watched Martincitopants' video, and he scrolled by a lot of tutorials, and you know, I kind of recognized a lot of those thumbnails, so I thought it would be a really good idea. Cool idea to, what if we just make a site that kind of makes fake From the Depth education diplomas? Not fake, of course, it's there's gonna be a questionnaire. Alright, here we have some really nice proper EMP insulation. That's good, that's good. You'll need to have EMP insulated lasers, or you're gonna be very sad, and it looks like this block is entirely sealed and insulated in EMP, which is a very good idea. And I also think the heavy armor use in this case, it's a good one. Right, so we have steam engines and azipods in a nice little mix. Looks very cool. It's after all a replica build. So of course we need to have some things that are mostly there for the looks and not as much there for the use cases. Now I wonder... Oh, I see. Okay, so here we have a little beginner's mistake here. It would have needed to open up this here. They need at least one block free. Right now the steam engine there is actually suffocating itself, so it won't work very well. Well, very nicely EMP insulated little AI core there. That's really nice. However, we only have one AI core. We should have at least 3 AI cores for a size like this. Looks like all steam engines have a little clogging problem, so that's not great, but, you know, It's a complex game. Anyways, having multiple AI cores is pretty necessary because if this AI core gets shot, this ship is out of the game. If it had multiple, it wouldn't necessarily die. So another good thing is that we want different targeting computers. So for example, the cram cannons should have an aiming setup to aim at clusters of blocks, and the APS cannons might aim at hot blocks, stuff like that you can do. So let's see here. Do we have... I'm just a little bit curious. We have a lot of general processing cards here. Ew. And here we have an automated control block. Oh, we have a shield switch. That's nice. I suppose the turn on the shields are here, yeah? Okay. Very nice. I'm not sure if I just miss it, but I can't find another area where we have some CPU and processing, stuff like that. So that's not great. It looks like we have some issues there because, yeah, you can see here that we haven't set up a specific aiming priority, and that would definitely be needed for a ship like this to have a chance of winning. I don't know actually, but right now, I don't think... I'm not gonna say anything. We'll see, we'll see. Alright, so here we can see what type of shells do we have here. We have a kinetic shell, sabot head solid. This looks like a damage dealing shell, right? This is probably not a accuracy... This is probably not a civs cannon, is it? Because the shell kind of looks like it's a civs cannon. It is not a civs cannon. Okay. Now this shell is... It lacks an emergency ejection defuse, so this thing will still blow up if it gets shot. So this is not very well set up. This turret will be some fireworks, I think. Anyways, it's also a little bit more set up like a civs shell. Alright. But we'll surely deal a good damage while it lasts. I do think that. And here, what we have here. We have another kinetic one here. Okay. What is this then? Then we have a frag. This is a better shell. It has an emergency ejection defuse as well, which is nice. Munition. Okay, timed fuse. Well, seems to be alright. A little short, maybe. High explosive head. Well, for all I know, there might be some kind of thing that does provide a little bit of switching shells using breadboard. I kind of doubt that, but I'm also not very good at breadboard, so I wouldn't know. Anyways, we have some shape charge on this main construct here. That's interesting. My god. I hope from the depth new camera update and all will work decently. Alright. And it might be interesting too. I didn't think of that, but there may be a different ammo on this side. No, it's not. Okay, well done. Alright, looking at the main cram cannons here, we can see that we have a pretty interesting setup with a lot of high explosives and some frag. Now, this is... it has a very good amount of recharge rate. This is in the optimal territory, stats-wise, for a 200mm gun. I'll do some future tutorials, by the way, about that if you want to learn more in detail. I have some older ones, but I'm in the process of remaking them. But how to build your first ship, the APS and the armor tutorial, they're freshly remade and good to watch if you are wanting to get into this game. Alright, anyways, the shell health here is a little bit low. I do think that anti-munition systems will be able to shoot down these crams. But it's cool that we have so many barrels there. It looks really nice. And here we have some extra side cannons, which is the armor piercing with the frag. Okay, well that's nice. So this shell here, a little thin turret neck here. This is a very vulnerable design. But, well, it seems to be set up in a good way with ejectors and ejection defuses, so they won't blow up. And we got some side railguns there, and why are you complaining here? Trajectory. Okay, that's just for show blocks. Then we have some weird stuff going on here. These rangefinders will obviously not quite work. You can see this is disabled because, you know, this is still disabled because this needs to have line of sight from both of the outputs. So you can think there is like a little laser coming out of each of these, and they're kind of meeting at a point and getting back to each other, and then you can kind of get some kind of, you know. Anyways, this kind of lacks this, so they are completely useless there. And this one is... what? Oh my god. This is upside down and semi-blocked. Okay. Looks like this is gonna have crap detection. Or that's just for show, okay. Yeah, the detection needs to be a little bit fixed here. We don't seem to have very many trackers working on the turrets. Perhaps they were a little bit quickly built, or, you know, it's not the most easy game. It really isn't. So it can be easy to miss stuff like that, but definitely that is an issue. This one has a line of sight at least, which is good. And we have some laser antennas here on the top. I think we should remove this little cutaway view. Oh no. Martin, you need to look at the components and read the text. This one is also disabled. This is useless. This is useless. Oh no. This is working. That's good. We have at least one tracker to the side here. That's good. Yeah. The detection isn't set up in an optimal way, but we got some redundancy, so it will be able to at least see the enemy. That's good. I hope it has some detectors. Oh, look at that. This one is the right way at least. Okay, that's good. So they might be a little bit semi-blocked, but I don't know why they're reverse on some turrets. This is so confusing. Well, I think we'll be able to detect the enemy. So it's at least gonna work in combat. It's just gonna be a little bit suboptimal. Yeah. This one is there. Oh, maybe it was just one. Okay. Never mind then. So there was just one of the turrets that had a little bit of a scuffed. I changed one around, I think, but yeah, the rangefinders still have some problems there. They're not gonna work. So most of the detection is a little bit scuffed, but I don't see very many cameras. It makes me a little bit worried. Maybe we have some hidden cameras behind inside of here. Inside from here we should have had some cameras, I think. Maybe we got some on top here. I'm kind of worried that it will struggle a little bit with detection. It has a lot of good tracking, but it has not a lot of good detection. Anyways, it feels like the top... Is this like the full... Can we just repair this thing a little bit? It feels like it lacks the top a little bit. Huh, strange. Anyways, we should be getting into battle. We've been rattling on for far too long. I'm just gonna check some values. Well, here we have the Army of Gmodism's Gimle class battleship. It is a tad bit smaller. It's 300 meter and this is 500, and it's a good bit cheaper. This is 2.2 million, which is very expensive from the depth, by the way. It's more expensive than most people build. So the Gimle does have a higher armor cost here. The cram firepower is only 10,000. No, 1,000. What am I saying? Which is half of the almost of the one here. However, the Martincitopants Yamato does have some pretty weak cram shells. They will be shot down by lambs a little bit, I think. 2,100. That's a lot of firepower there. We don't have that much APS, only 400 there. So we're gonna see. If you look statistic and cost-wise, Martincitopants Yamato, wow, look at it, 5 million. It has so much firepower. So, obviously, our funny frogman is not the most well-versed from the depth builder, and, you know, I really sucked at this game really, really bad until like 2 years ago, which, yeah, it is a hard game to get into. You need to spend like years of playing it to make something remotely work, which is absolutely insane. But that's kind of how it is. So I'm not saying anything about that. I have more than 2,000 hours in this game. So yeah, it takes some time. And I have been nitpicking on a lot of different things there. But you can clearly see that the Yamato does have a much bigger cost. It's much more expensive and it has much more firepower. So in all realisticness, this thing should win here. Now, on the aesthetical part, I think some portions of this look a little bit unfinished. I would like to have some smoothened out areas and stuff like that. But the general shape of it is really nice. I do like that. But let us see how it performs in battle. Martincitopants Yamato. What is it? Replica build. So exciting. And if you're new to the Gmodism channel, I will just show you a little bit of my rules here. They're gonna spawn 3,000 meters apart. We're gonna bump up the materials in this battle because I don't know how efficient the Yamato is. And here we have the rules here, so it's a time limit of 15 minutes. And we have some different despawn rules that we've been using for the Gimle battles. And if this is the first video you watch of the Gimle battles, it's a little challenge where people have sent in ships to battle the Gimle, and then I've also taken up a good amount of ships that have not been sent in but already exists. And here we have another example of a ship that already, or it's kind of new, but I just wanted to add it anyways because I wanted to take a look at Martincitopants Yamato. Now this usually takes ages to load these battles, so I'll be sitting here for some minutes. While I'm doing that, I just wanted to say I completely forgot to check out how many decos the Yamato uses. I saw some using for wires and railings and stuff like that, because that's not the feature in From the Depths, that's mimicry and decorations. Anyways, very cool to see such a big rebuild of the Yamato, and I'm so looking forward to test it against the Gimle. Oh my god, here we are. We're gonna enter the graded mood so fast. Here we have the glorious Funny Frogman Yamato versus the Army of Gmodism's Gimle class battleship. Let the battle commence. Alright. I feel like we'll have to slow down the time here and see a little bit what happens in slow motion. We can see we already have some pretty quick shells coming in here from the Yamato. Trying the front of the Gimle here, very interesting. Now, that is a scary laser, and we have a good bit of underwater fire there. Very interesting to see. You might be wondering why we're spawning this in front, with the front each against each other. And that is because if you don't do that, ships tend to go away so far that the battle will be very boring to watch. Looks like my diff civs system, direct input fed APS shells, is moving in and intercepting these crams. Yeah, and it does so much damage that the cram shells are indeed deleted. That is the problem with having lower health shells like that. We're gonna move back to full speed because I want to see what's happening with the Yamato over there. Okay, it's looking pretty sturdy. I may had put too much criticism on it. Who knows? Here we have the first cram hits. The Gimle is, as you saw, a cram-heavy design. However, technically, the Yamato has more firepower for these crams. I do, however, think that the Gimle's crams are more effective battle-wise due to actually getting to the target and not getting deleted by lambs or stuff like that. Oh, and with the latest update, the mortars have been boosted in tracking accuracy. So now the mortars should actually be more accurate. This is of course a best of 3, so next battle, we are going to put this in slow-mo mode. No, not slow-mo mode, just kidding. It's slow enough that it is. We're gonna put it at the lowest possible settings, so enjoy the visual quality right now, because it will not last. Indeed, it will not. Ooh. We'll just have to zoom in on these cram shells. Here you can see they're coming in slow motion. We're penetrating and exploding inside of the superstructure. EMP surges. All right. What is going on here at the Gimle? Ooh, we have so many fires. We have very many sad fires here. Scary penetrating shells. They are very close in terms of health, which is pretty interesting. The Gimle is a real big ship. By the way, we need to pause. We need to check the Arqueballista Invictus. This is a true penetrator cannon. It fires extremely penetrating shots. And we're gonna find out what the Arqueballista Invictus is dealing with today. It's set up to shoot at things underwater. And we're watching this in the slowest game speed possible. Alright. Alright. What are we killing here? Some material boxes. And there, the shell lost kinetic energy. Alright. So looks like the material boxes actually took most of the blunt. It's very funny because the Arqueballista Invictus is able to take out some pretty scary ships if they are not redundant. Ooh, look at that. Looks like the lambs are pretty darn strong here on the funny frogman's Yamato. It's zapping out these shells. Well, I guess some of the cram shells coming in there is mostly decoy shells to trick enemy diff civs to trigger, since they only have 5 shots per battle basically. If you're new, that must sound very complex, but fear not, there is an instant tutorial playlist with some good tips and more tips coming too. Now this is pretty funny. Now we can use the new camera control to track. It's working. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit hard getting used to the new camera, but overall I think it's an upgrade, because I just remember how hard it was to learn how to get the camera working, double tapping E and all that, which is finally gone, I hope. There are some things that need fixing, but well, hopefully that comes later. Right, so the Yamato is actually in the lead here with 91%, with the Gimle class at 90. We'll need to see what's happening here. Oh, we are very much degraded mode. You can see the Gimle's lambs are able to zap the cram shells incoming, which is very vital because these crams do a lot of damage. They just have so little health, they're easy to deal with. Very interesting to see. I wonder we should probably just pause the game a little bit and do a quick damage assessment. The Gimle class is down to 89%. So, do we have... Looks like none of our main guns are missing. Oh yeah, we have one of our laser outlets are missing. As long as this laser outlet is alive... Ew. Look at that. Oh yeah, okay. So the Gimle's laser is actually disabled. It looks like the connection network for the laser may be broken. Because I didn't see it fire recently. Huh? No. Maybe the lamps are just busy then. That seems to be okay. We got some damaged cram cannons, but thanks to the very redundant 3D Tetris and a little shield of heavy armor in front of them, they are still mostly well and active. The Arcoballista system seems to be well and alive still as well, which is very scary for the Yamato since we have a lack of redundancy there. Right. Very interesting. If I don't misremember, I think the fate of the Yamato was having all the ammo at one place or something like that, leading to a chain reaction, which is could be described as lack of redundancy. So I guess that's a feature that still remains. But not in that case, because the ammo, of course, was actually set up using heavy armor as shielding, so that's not gonna be destroyed, but I'm thinking more of the engines. Alright, we have targeted here. Oh, this cram cannon is a little bit sad, and you can see that it looks like some of the crams are getting through here. I was assuming an easy win for the Gimle, just looking at the setup of the weapons, but then I got a little bit uncertain when I looked at the extreme firepower of Martincitopants Yamato. It has so much firepower, and it is more than twice as expensive as the Gimle, so I will not be sad if the Gimle loses, but I still have hopes for the Gimle taking home this battle. Anyways. We're just gonna monitor. I want to follow another of the Arcoballista shells, so I was just monitoring them fire, because you have to react so fast. They are rail assist cannons, so they are firepower and railgun. Oh, we are starting to tilt a little bit here. Oh. Ooh. And there, it gets destroyed. It almost gets shot through the entire ship here. Alright, so we're tilting a little bit here. Looks like we had some damage. I didn't check that. Did we have a case of not EMP insulated weapon controllers, perhaps? Because the Gimle does that. We have some EMP here and there. This one is very sad. Let me guess. This has been ammo-racked, has it? No? It has not. It just has lost the connection. Okay. So in this particular case, I'm gonna post it was the turret next then, most likely, getting damaged. Looks like the caliber, you can see it's very, looks like the connections to the rest of the gun is severed. Somewhere in here, probably. You can see we're going up here. And we're snaking... What? Since I don't know how it looked before, I'm not gonna sit there and look all day. But that's what I think was happening. We're going to... Oh! The lamps are working hard to get it out of here. Very interesting. And we have the piss color laser, oh my god. Anyways. Looks like... Oh, these are not real trackers. I think the Yamato is having some detection problems now, most likely. It's still at 84%. But you can see it has very few weapon systems that are actually alive. And now it almost feels like the simple weapons are doing some of the heavy lifting, which is not great. All right. Next swarm coming in there. So the Gimle's laser, they're absolutely a-okay. They're dealing damage now instead, and the Gimle has stayed for 87% for quite some time now. Yeah, here we have more disabled turrets, so the Yamato isn't doing very great. We have like the laser system is still alive, and we have a cram system that is mostly alive. The issue with this cram system is that it has absolutely no business getting through to the Gimle, because we have the first line of our SpeedX interceptors, which is set up to target crams in a pretty good way, and fast missiles. Then we have LAMs and diff civs as a last defense. We even have a little kinetic civs cannon here, which seems to be stuck because of a failsafe, or this is ammo-racked, because on this type of gun you can't have... Oh, it actually looks like this just got stuck. Sad thing. Well, 80% versus 87%, but as you can see, the Gimle had a higher armor percentage, and usually having too much armor is not a good idea. But yeah, that's not the marker for a winning design usually, that it has more armor than weapons. But I guess Gimle has armor in the right places, so we can see that the guns are not hurt. And you know, it is a very hard game. It took so many hours for me to learn everything that I learned from now, so it's not that I'm too surprised. I just had no idea how much time our frogman has been spent in designer or not. You know, I don't have it on Steam, so I can see his playtime. Anyways, it's very fun to test this out and pitch it against the Gimle. And if you haven't watched Martincitopants, then he does a very funny, like high-pitched, high-energy comical content, and he's been doing some from the depth content. I think he made the first really popular video from the depth called like Somali Pirate Simulator or something like that, which got a lot of popularity. In any case, so I don't. So he has been playing the game for a while, but he's, I guess, more of a comedian. That's probably what I would describe. So yeah, if you want some really funny memes and high energy content, you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. And I do think on the workshop I saw this Yamato and I saw an older Yamato, so I think this might be an upgraded version of that older one, possibly. Alright, we lost another big turret there. So, ooh, we're shooting blanks. This can happen with cram cannons. They can accidentally start shooting blanks if they're too hurt. Ah, poor thing. At this point, the Yamato has basically no chance of winning this. It has no way to deal damage, so it's... yeah. While we're watching the Yamato burn, before we are going to the next battle, we are going to enjoy this graphics and just say huge thanks to our upper level commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism supporting the channel every month at Patreon. Commodore Owen, Commander Modern, Lieutenants and/or Cravey, Drew, Kandobetta, I'm gonna learn your name better in the future, Flauros Dagon, you too, Powered by Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Proel and Scooby Rocks. Thanks for supporting the channel every month, it helps so much. Also, thanks to our YouTube members, you can see their names listed below this video in a little section, and they will have a little badge on their name too, showing that they are a YouTube member. And YouTube members get early access to my videos if you want to become that. Then there is the Ministry of Gmodism, which I will talk about some other time, because it's not entirely set up. If you are new, by the way, I will just show you this cool little trick. You go into Options, and then you click the Boost My Performance, and then you go down here, and you select Use Recommended Light Intensities. That's the only thing you need to do. Now you're in Fast Graphics mode, which is good for really big battles. And reversely, when you want stuff to look good, you just go in here, you select Max Quality, and click Use Recommended Light Intensities, and you're good to go. That's all you need to do. So honestly, this is the two only settings you will need, the only two quality options you'll need for most gaming systems. Most recently new systems can run the game at maximum when not looking at really big things. So in campaign and building, smaller things, most people can run that. And then most people need to run it at extreme, the lowest settings, to be able to have big battles like this. You can check the game speed. If you click F4, you can see it's 0.86. So that's basically almost full speed of the game, which is very good for a ship this size. It's lagging surprisingly little, I will say that. Well, the Yamato is at 63% just now. We will need to assume that it will lose. I will update you in a little while. I will stay with the battle for some time more, but I think we've seen enough. You know what's a really fun from the depth fact, by the way? This ammo-looking bottle would be 67 millimeters. So imagine if this is 67 millimeters, imagine how the common 500 millimeter shells are. Think about that. And that 60 millimeters is considered like small shells. It's absolutely insane. I don't think there is any other game that does big scale combat like From the Depth does. Oh yeah, probably Warhammer 40k, but none of them are building games, so within building games, I mean. And there we are, 55 point... Next hit, there. We can now officially conclude that the Gimle has won the first battle. This is the point where we are allowed to end the battle, or when it's gone 15 minutes. Anyways, let's go to round 2 and see if the Gimle is as lucky next time, or not. What the hell? Oh man, I didn't know it was this old. So the Yamato uses APS parts with set gauges as decoration blocks. Ooh, man, it doesn't use mimics. This is so old. I didn't know that. I thought it was kinda... But this has to be mimics, right? Or is this also some kind of weird... Man, I don't know. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, okay, so the wires are actual blocks. I think this ship needs a little bit of an update. Let us indeed, anyways, take a good look at what's happening here. So, I just want to see the first swarm of shells coming here. And they get destroyed here. Now we need to look at what's happening. The Gimle's first barrage totally missed. Look at that. It kind of usually does that, which is very annoying. Ooh. We're having some scary penetrators going on here. Now, it is definitely the case that we should probably have watched the first battle in quick mode like this, because obviously we're already slowing down our game speed. Let's see here. We're kind of at 80%, that's nice. The Gimle has some shenanigans to make it sure it doesn't lag more than necessary, like utilizing, not utilizing water or helium pumps. That's a big performance booster. Because when you have that, the CPU has to calculate the volume all the time, to calculate the added buoyancy, which does lag a lot because it introduces some micro stutters. So maybe it doesn't lag a lot, it's just super annoying. And I don't think the Yamato has a lot of air pumps either, because I'm not getting so much of that micro stutters. So that's really great. All right, we are burning in the back here, pretty hardcore. Oh, look at that! The Gimle has a big portion of like ammunition and fuel in the back here. I will just say this, the Gimle is not optimized for the fire update. So when it comes to fire, it performs pretty poorly. Well, hopefully it's gonna perform good enough. Oh! No, I thought we had a damaged arqueballista barrel. We did not. Alright. Ooh, we got some lag there. Oh, damn. We got a pretty bad hit inside of the Gimle here. We need to check that out. Oh, yeah. We had an entire engine getting blown up here. That's a big damage. That was probably the lag spike. When a lot of blocks are destroyed, we're usually getting some lag. All right. But the game speed is running pretty good, so the Yamato is in the lead now. We're gonna see if this lead will last or not. And we're probably going to... I think we need to lock on to... Oh no. The new camera can sometimes be a little bit annoying. Lock on to this thing. That's how fast it goes, by the way, when we don't watch in slow motion. So it went through a cram turret. Yeah, didn't do much damage, thanks to the Tetris setup here. I think it's probably fine, but if it shoots at a turret that has enough gunpowder or payload to ammo rack it, it would absolutely be completely ammo racked there. Alright. 92% versus 92. We're starting like really equal. So very interesting. I have so many ideas to upgrade the Gimle to make it better, by the way. But we had a lot of people sending in submissions, and of course, all of those submissions need to meet the same version of the Gimle. There's like one exception I had to fix, that an update broke it. But otherwise, it is the Gimle Mark 1 as intended and built before. Now I don't know what I locked onto. Oh my, we're starting to tilt here. Looks like our cram cannon is setting fire. No, that's our laser setting fire to the cram cannon, I mean. And our Vigoletta marksman is targeting hot blocks. There's probably some shields inside of there. I think the Yamato's shields are invisible, so we can't see exactly where they are. Oh! And there we have some stuff going on there. Very nice indeed. Got a good swarm of cram shells coming in. 89%, but the Gimle is at 88. Looks like the Yamato has a really hard time turning around here. it's... yeah. It's very slow in turning. It's a very non-maneuverable design. You can see the main problem with the Yamato's crams is that they are so much put into explosive pellets, so it doesn't have enough to provide like the health needed, which is not great. Alright. But if the Gimle would not have a competent LAM system, or any diff sieves, or sieve scans at all for that matter, because here we have a sieve scanning, shooting down incoming crams as well. As soon as we have crams available, it will shoot. It will shoot them. So very small shells here. As we can see, if we kind of lock on. I couldn't do that, but whatever. Ah, and our Speedex is doing a pretty good job at shooting down the crams as well. Some are getting through. That is true, but it's so few, it's hardly a problem. The Yamato is down to 84%. What happened? It had to have lost the main turret here. Scary stuff. And when it comes to the Yamato, I think it has too much spent on the high explosives for the crams. High explosive only goes that far. 180 frag is what you want with timed laser fuses. That doesn't even the Gimle has. That's something I learned recently. And that's the cool thing with From the Depth. You always learn new things. 82 versus 87. You know what? It looks like the Gimle will be perfectly able to beat Funny Frogman's Yamato at less than half the cost of it. Very nice, very nice. I did think that initially, but... ooh! Look at that! There we had some explosion. I did think that initially, but you never know, because... looking at the firepower of the Yamato, I kind of thought that, oh, it's probably not gonna win, right? It makes me think. I have a pretty old battleship that's not very good or optimized. It costs even less than the Gimle at 1.8 million, called the Draconia. Should we make a video where we pitch the Yamato against the Draconia and see if the Draconia, which is I think 2 years old, that ship, so it was just before I started to learn a lot of the tricks making better ships, so it's gonna be interesting. Do you want me to make a video with the Draconia versus Martincitopants Yamato? In that case, like the video and I will see that. Actually, post me a comment about that, that's even better. If you don't dare to like the video. Maybe you should like the video anyways, that will make me happy. 78% yes, yeah. I think there is not much going back from here. Now, the laser is of course providing some damage, so there is that, but I hardly think that this will turn around. Ugh. Looking at those fragmentations, they're like flying everywhere. Now they hit much of the laser systems too. Oh, by the way, the Gimle has a lot strong armor, because the Gimle is set up as being a one-sider, so it prefers to face the right side towards the enemy. So there is where it has most of its armor, actually. So that's a little trick too, if you want to make a broadsiding ship that has better performance. It can be better to make them have the one side against the enemy, and then you can put some extra armor there. Like for example, if you have a backstaggered era across the entire ship, you're gonna reach a high block count and it's gonna lag pretty bad. But if you have it on only one side and where it matters, like the Gimle has, you will not reach that super high block count and it will lag so much less. A little tip. Man, this battle just goes so much faster when we're having full speed here. Thanks to a lower lower set of requirements for the system there. Anyways, if you want to see some of the old Gimle battles, they are of course in the Big Battleship playlist, which you can check out to see a lot of the old battles. You find some pretty cool ones there. I probably need to face some of my own favorites against the Yamato. Would be cool, like the Turtle Lord made by Setup. That would be cool to see. Also, if you want some 24/7 entertainment, I put together all of my old tournaments and most of the Gimle battles and Slabman Challenge, Filke Challenge, Space Tournament, Land Tournament, 50k Ship Tournament, all of that. I made a super long video that's like weeks long, which is rolling 24/7 on the Gmodism channel. You'll find a link to it on the end screen. Oh, and I also tried out making some relaxing from the depth content on the Relaxism channel. If you want to see that on my ASMR channel, it'll also be on the end screen of this video. Well, looks like we're shooting blanks. No, there we actually got the shell away there, but most of the cram barrels are shooting blanks there, poor thing. Oh yeah, we have so few weapon systems alive now. 69. A health of 69. I don't know how many repair bots we're having here actually. That could be pretty interesting to check out. How many repair bots does the Yamato have? Because it seems to be regenerating in a decent amount, but it hasn't run out of materials. For the Gimle battles, I had a set max repair bots, or maybe no repair bots. No, I think it was 2. I think 2 was the max. Most tournament organizers have like 0 repair bots allowed, which I might do for future battles too. And if you are wondering about the instant tutorials, I've gotten that suggestion so many times. So I will just say, yes, I am in the process of remaking a lot of the old instant tutorials. The armor APS tutorial is pretty new though, so they are, and beginner's ship guide, they're very new, so they're much recommended. We have, I think my most popular from the depth video is a general beginner's guide. Thanks to Funny Frogman, it got a lot of watch time lately. And that is also in a process of remaking it, because it's a bit old, you know? It's like several years old. So I'm gonna make a beginner's all-inclusive guide for 2025, which will be basically in a few days, but we'll see when that video comes out. I'll need to do some research and make sure everything is good and edit it, record it, edit, and stuff like that. So it might take some time. Well, if you're watching this thanks to our funny frogman, Martincitopants, I will say very much welcome to you. I make some tutorials and stuff. You may want to subscribe if you want some tips, tricks, and big ship battles. Also, if you are usually tuning in to Martincitopants streams, say hello from me, and thanks a lot for bringing so many new players to this game. That is definitely very awesome of Martin to bring so many new players to From the Depth. It has been real fun to see all these people drop into my Gmodist's Discord server, where we talk From the Depth and some other stuff. It has been super fun seeing that. So yeah, definitely say hello from me. It has been awesome to check out. Wonder what these green lines that have appeared are. I may need to... what's happening here? What the hell? Why? Why do we have green... What did I click on now? It's supposed to be like that? What did I do? Well, whatever. Probably some stupid shortcut I shouldn't have pressed on. Getting used to the camera. Well, whatever. Here we can see the Yamato is very sad. It seems to have no weapons, and possibly also no engine power. Not much left. Yeah, it's definitely very dead, you know. I think we conclude that the Gimle, the army of Gmodism's battleship, Gimle class, is the victor against the Yamato 2-to-1 scale build. Well, with that said, I will just say huge, if you're watching this, Martin, huge thanks for like bringing all these new players to the game. That was super cool to see. I hope you continue to play this game and yeah, make some new cool videos in your very interesting, funny commentary style that I could never do. That energy, where do you get it from? Yeah, anyways, it was fun to check out the Yamato. I now realize that this is a pretty old build that has been refurbished to be better. It has some room for improvements, and if you're watching this, Martin, I hope it can help you improve the Yamato to a truly deadly and super scary design. And to anyone watching here, put your comments in the comments field with some questions and stuff like that if you're wondering anything, and I hope I'll be seeing you in future videos. Up here are the aforementioned Gmodist and Relaxism channels. You can find me live on Twitch as well. And other than that, I'll see you in Discord. And yeah, once again, thanks to Martin for bringing all these new players. It's super cool to see. So this is your host, Eric of Gmodism. I'm signing out of my forever rambling. See you.